Hey Levi,
Yeah.
what are we talking about today?
Small arms of mass destruction.
Oh, that's perfect because I've got this.
Welcome back to Dark Corner Gunworks. Today we're going to take a look at military handguns. We're going to talk about when they were adopted, when they left. We're going to talk about the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to talk about the laughter and the tears. I want to preface this by saying that none of these are surplus guns. They're all comparable civilian models. A couple little changes, but you get the idea. Let's start back in the early 1900s when the U.S. military had to replace their revolvers with something a little more modern. That's when John Moses Browning parted the Red Sea and brought the U.S. the 1911 so that we could free the people of France from Germany twice. For safety's sake, let's go ahead and make sure she's clear. We are good. Now the 1911 was a single stacked pistol, single action only, chambered in .45 ACP. It was used by the U.S. military from 1911 all the way up to 1985 through the Korean War, the Vietnam War. It's got a long military history. Let's set her down on a bench and we'll show you how to field script this thing. Now, breakdown on 1911 is something that everybody's seen, but we're going to go ahead and do it again. Push this button down right here in front of the barrel and turn the barrel bushing out of the way. Be careful not to let go of that spring. You really hurt yourself with that thing. Bring the slide back. This first little indentation. On this side, push right there. Slide release comes right out. It comes apart. Let's spring out. Turn the barrel bushing. Pull it out. Barrel slides right out, and there's your field strip. Now the reassembly is just the opposite of the disassembly. You slide the barrel down in here, barrel bushing is on, flip that over, and put this down in here. Put slide on the frame. And you find the hole in here. Put the rabbit in the hole. And you bring this up here. Don't try not to scratch the scratch it on the finish here on the slide or on the frame. Bring it up to this pin and push it up and push it in at the same time. Well, make sure it slides in the right spot. Drop a spring in there, little button, hold it in place when you turn your bushing around. There we go. In 1985, Ronald Reagan went to his buddy Mel Gibson's house and he says, "Hey man, one actor to another, what do you think we should use for the U.S. military as far as handguns go?" Mel Gibson looked at him and he says, 9mm Beretta. Takes 15 in the mag, 1 in the pipe, wide ejection port, no feed jams. So what makes the M9 different than the 1911? Well, first off, it's got a double stacked magazine, twice the round capacity. It's also chambered in 9mm. It's got a single action and double action trigger. And it's got a decocker up here. John Browning did say that he wished that he would have made the 1911 in 9mm. When the U.S. military adopted the M9 in 1985, he got to see a lot of action in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, and all kinds of action in the global war on terrorism. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the takedown of the M9. I'll do it again on the bench. Now the Beretta 92 FS, a little bit easier to take down. On this side, there's a button. You press that, hold it in. The other side, move this lever down, and there she is. Spring and barrel. Easy. I put her back together, just as simple. Barrel, spring, make sure it goes in the right way. Set the frame on the slide, bring her back, and move that switch forward, up rather. That's a Beretta 92. Now before we move on past the era of the Beretta, we need to throw out an honorable mention to the Sig P226. Now this obviously isn't the Mark 25 version, but it's a Dark Corner Gunworks custom P226 with Cerakoting and a nice new grip on there. Now the 226 was a runner-up to the Beretta in '85 and was adopted by the Navy SEALs. Now much like the Beretta 92 FS, the Sig P226 had a 15 round capacity and also had a double action trigger. Now while we're here and I've got it in my hand, might as well field strip it too. Let's take a look at the takedown of the P226 and most of the Sig Classic series. I'm going to go ahead and bring that hammer to the rear, bring the slide back, lock it into place, move this lever down, slide forward. There's your spring, barrel, slide, frame. Easy, just as easy as the 92. Put it back together. Barrel. And your spring. Throw it on the rails. There's some beefy rails on here, all the way down. And that's it. In 2017, when the world of duty weapons was dominated by Glock, the US military said, "Yo dog, how about giving us some of that sweet poly?" So the government said, "Sure, have a Sig." Now before you lose your minds and ask, why don't you have a 19X on the table? It's because the 19X was never adopted by the US military. Now, the M17 is a polymer frame striker fire pistol which came with an external safety, ambidextrous, and it was issued with two 21 round magazines and one 17 round magazine. Let's go ahead and take her apart too. Let's look at the fill strip on the M17 here. First off, I want to show you this magazine is empty, but you cannot take it down with the magazine and the mag well. I like to slide to the rear. The takedown lever only goes to this point. You have to release the magazine, pull the takedown lever down, and release the slide without pulling the trigger. Now you can get to your spring, and your barrel, and your takedown's complete. A reassembly is just as easy as a takedown. So with the barrel, slide in position, spring down in here, put the slide on the frame, bring it back, lock the slide into place, push that lever, and we're done. Now that we've had a look at these pistols, I'm going to take them down to the range. Actually, I think I'm going to give Brian these pistols to take down to the range. Make him swap between these things and shoot them. Thank you for joining us on our adventure through time with these military handguns. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe our videos on YouTube and Full30. You can also find Dark Corner Gunworks on Instagram, Facebook, and darkcornergunworks.com. And be sure to check out our podcast, Covering Fire. Stay classy.
We're not sponsored by Twisted Tea.
That's the
I'm
one.
glad we didn't get it right the first time so we could fix things.
That's right. Caitlyn Jenner button. You know, Brian always says that every time he picks up a 1911, he feels like there's a beach in France that needs his attention. Squish. Foot. Fix the beard. Beautiful. Take one.
It's not take one. It's like 30.
It's like 4. Guns. Guns.